Super Megafest!
This is David Ciccariella, and welcome to the 2016 Spring Edition of the New England Super Megafest Comic-Con in the Royal Plaza Trade Center in Marlborough, Massachusetts. We're going to go inside, talk to special guests, people dressed in costume, and see a lot more. Let's go. I'm now with a living legend, Burt Reynolds. I would love if you could talk a little bit about your friendship with Dom DeLuise.
I miss him every day. He was wonderful, and he made me laugh, and I made him laugh, and it was a great relationship.
I just recently watched an episode of you on the Johnny Carson Show where they did This Is Your Life. Could you talk about maybe that experience on the Johnny Carson Show or Johnny Carson in general?
I miss him greatly. There'll never be another one like him. It was love at first sight when we met, and I did the Carson Show more than anybody. And I hosted the show more than anybody. So I miss him greatly.
I'm now with Paul, and what did you bring today to the Super Mega Fest?
We brought the Robocop car, and we also have a Smokey and the Bandit 2 car, which is the son of Trigger.
Very cool. Now tell us a little bit about the Robocop car.
Well, it's a Ford Taurus, and we built it. It's not an official movie car, but it's a pretty good copy of it.
Very cool. And what inspired you to do the Robocop car?
Well, I own a company called GraphicSignWorks.com, and we create decals for muscle cars, and we make signs and T-shirts and all that. And kind of inspired me. I already owned the Bandit car, so I wanted another movie car, so I came up with the Robocop car.
Well, you also have the Robocop helmet. Where'd you get that?
It's a friend of mine, Jeff, made this. He's working on building a whole uniform to show off with the cars.
That would be awesome. And you got T-shirts as well?
Yeah, my company makes T-shirts, so when we do a show and we bring the cars, we make the T-shirts that coincide with the cars. And we have the Joker, and we also have a Harley Quinn shirt that goes with the Joker car.
Well, now we'll take a look at the Smokey and the Bandit car that you brought, and tell us a little bit about that.
This is a 1981 True Bandit. It's got the 400 Pontiac motor. It goes pretty good. It's a nice car, and it's all original. And hopefully this weekend we can get Burt Reynolds to sign it for us. It'll be a big deal.
I know you seem so excited that Burt Reynolds is here. What does that movie mean to you?
It's been a lot. I've owned Trans Ams pretty much my whole life since I started driving. So to own a Bandit car for the first time, it's been exciting. And I've watched Smokey and the Bandit all my life, like since it came out. So yeah, big fan. We've been working on this for 3 years to get him here. So we finally got him here, and with the help of Super Mega Fest, they got him here, and we got the car here for him to sit in and maybe sign and take some photos with it.
I'm now standing with the legendary Kevin Sorbo. How are you enjoying being here at the Super Mega Fest?
I think it was about 3 years ago I came here, so it's good to be back, good to be hanging out, It's a slow crowd on Friday, so we're looking forward to tomorrow. I hope tomorrow is packed and crazy and fun, but it's always fun to hit back this part of the country. I love coming up this way. My wife's up from the northeast of America, so it's fun to come up and hang out.
Now, I loved Hercules. It was one of my favorite TV shows.
Oh, thanks.
And it also had a great ending. For Full Circle was the final episode.
Yes.
Could you talk about how was it filming the last episode? And I believe Bruce Campbell directed it.
Actually, we filmed that out of order. Michael Hurst had a play to do, and he had to shave off his hair. He had to be like a skinhead in this thing. So Aeolus had to move on. So we did it early in the season. We had like 7 more episodes to shoot before the series finished. So actually the final episode was with Bruce Campbell, but Charlie Siebert directed it, and Tracy Lords was in it. So the very, very, very last day was incredibly emotional for me because I knew 7 years was coming to an end. And the very last scene we shot on purpose as the last scene, where I walk up to the entrance of this pub we're at, and Bruce is with me, and we have this little exchange, and I walk out. And I went around the corner, and there are a bunch of extras that had walked out earlier. So I'm standing there, and they're all looking at me, and I'm sort of staring into space. And George Lyle, our first AD, yelled out, he goes, "That is a series wrap on Hercules, and the last shot with Kevin Sorbo." And everybody, there's 200 people there from behind the camera that work in wardrobe and special effects, whatever. And I walked around the corner, I tried to talk, I lost it. Because they become your family. They really do. You're working 12, 14 hours a day, 7 years. You literally get to know those people better than you know your own spouse.
Wow.
You know, so it was very emotional, and it was a big chapter in my life. I love New Zealand, I love the people I worked with, and I miss it.
Could you tell me a story of Kevin Smith, who played Ares? I know he passed away several years ago.
Kev was my favorite guest star on the show. Kev was my golf buddy down there. And he was a horrible golfer. He loved to golf. I'm a good golfer, by the way. And I call him Monkey Boy because he was always in the woods. He can never keep a ball in the fairway. And he gets really angry on the golf course. He'll have bat shot, he'll throw the club down, and start doing push-ups on the golf. It's just very funny. But Kev, I miss Kev dearly. Every time I go to New Zealand, I go visit his gravesite. And have a beer. His favorite beer was Max Gold, and I have a Max Gold with him. It's a New Zealand beer. And the guy was great. We just had a lot of fun on the set together. We had epic fights as Herc and Ares together, and it's amazing. I can't believe it's probably been gone for 14 years already. It's unbelievable.
The shooting schedule of Hercules, filming one episode, dealing with all the stunts. Could you talk about like the workday of how you filmed a normal episode?
Every episode had 3 fights. The episodes were anywhere from 8 to 10 days each. Normally 14 hours was kind of an average day for me. If we weren't doing a fight scene that day, then we'd be rehearsing the fight scene for the next day. So the stunt guys would be there, our stunt choreographer would be there. So in between setups, between shots, we aren't just sitting around. We're over there with the stunt guys working, because it's a dance. And there are fight scenes where it'd just be me fighting 12 guys. And maybe they have 2 moves, but I got to memorize 24 different the guys to fight. So I loved it though. And then I would go to the gym afterwards and work out for 2 hours. And then I would go home. So 16 to 18 hours door to door is pretty typical. And then I would study my lines for the next day and go to bed at midnight and get up at 4:30 and do it again.
Wow.
So.
And to wrap up, you really are Hercules. For anybody who watched the TV show, Kevin Sorbo is actually Hercules. Am I right?
I'm half God from the waist down. No. Sorry. I'm not Hercules. He's a lot stronger and a lot braver than I would ever be. And I had stunt guys that make me look good, trust me. I love the series, though. I really did. I recommend people go to New Zealand, visit sometime. But I love my second series, Andromeda, just as much.
Great, that was a great show.
Because I'm a big Star Trek fan. So for me to have Captain Dylan Hunt, the first captain after Captain Kirk, was pretty cool.
I think you have a new TV show in the works?
We sold a series to NBC called The Miracle Man. So we're hoping and praying. We haven't shot anything yet. We're still waiting for them to make a decision. We'll see what happens. I got 3 movies I'm shooting this year, so I'm booked up through October of this year, so I'm pretty busy. One of them I'm directing as well. And just doing a lot of, I do Comic-Cons when I can. I can't do as many as I used to, but I try to do about 5 or 6 a year.
I'm now standing with the incredible Hulk. What brings you to the Super Megafest?
Smash!
Smash. He's gonna smash stuff. You're in front of the Shield Jeep. Do you want to smash that?
Yeah.
He does. I don't want to mess with him. He full of muscle. You're very scary. I don't beat me up, okay?
Okay.
Oh, he's a nice guy. The Hulk is a really nice guy. My cameraman thinks he should beat me up, but no, Hulk's a good guy. He doesn't want it. Okay, all right. I'm now with WWE Hall of Famer, the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. How are you enjoying the Super Mega Fest?
I enjoyed meeting Lee Meriwether a great deal.
Was Batman one of your favorite shows, the 60s Batman?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I did. I did love it, and not only did I love it, but then my older kids loved it, and then my younger kids loved it. So whenever and I'm a Catwoman person.
You love Catwoman.
Yeah.
Your favorite villain, Catwoman.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the beautiful things about Lee is that she wasn't she made that impression, and strong impression, strong. And she looks wonderful. And I looked over and I saw her perusing through Have a Nice Day, which was my towering New York Times #1 bestseller. I got such a kick out of it. Friday's traditionally the slow day at the conventions, and so you kind of try to take everything in and you have fun, and you pass notes to Kevin Sorbo. You let him know that your family watches his Christmas movie every year. And then you get busy on Saturday. Things will be rocking here tomorrow, but you have a lot of fun on that first day.
Actually, you're on an episode of Boy Meets World. How was that? Was that a fun show to guest star on?
It was it was a great show to guest star on. And about 5 years ago, I was pretty new to social media, and I got a message that two of the girls from Boy Meets World were doing a Q&A that my name had been mentioned. And so apparently the question was were there any guest stars, who you remember being a lot of fun to work with? I saw that Danielle Fishel had enjoyed working with me, and I was like, well, at Danielle Fishel, I enjoyed working with you too. And so it was like one of those things where worlds collide, and you have these wrestling / Boy Meets World fans going, oh, Mick Foley and Tabanga are in touch. And so a couple of years ago, I went to one of the rehearsals for Girl Meets World. And if they're ever, I don't know how many kids are listening, but if they need a man in a red suit,
I want you.
Yeah, I'd be an appropriate guy for that job, I think.
Final question. You have a new reality show coming on WWE.
Yes.
Can you please talk about that?
Sure, Holy Foley. It's going to be a fun look at our lives. We lead pretty interesting lives. I think just it could be a day at the convention. It could be, me getting really angry at. Did you see Batman? There was a guy. He wasn't even the real Batman, and he was spending an inordinate amount of time with Lee Meriwether. I didn't like it. And so
you're jealous. You're jealous. Come on, you had a crush on her. You know it.
Reasonable. I'm not debating that I have a crush. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I'm hoping my wife doesn't see this show. I'll just deny it. I don't care if it's on TV or not. Just deny it. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. But we'll run into some. We'll have some fun.
I'm now here with Ed Norton. What brings you to the Super Mega Fest?
I'm looking for Ralphie Cramden.
Now, how do you play golf? What's one of the first steps you do?
You got to address the ball. Hello, ball.
That's the way to do it. Yesterday, Burt Reynolds was here. He worked with Jackie Gleason before, didn't he?
He did indeed. I'm going to lose the accent now. I met Burt Reynolds yesterday. I walked up to him and I said, I don't know if you know this or not, but you're frickin' Burt Reynolds. And he got a kick out of that.
What's some of your other costumes that you bring to Comic-Con?
I do Ernest, I do Murdoch from the A-Team, Sheriff Roscoe, Pico, and you dipstick. I sometimes do Shag and Scoop, Scoop. Sometimes we're got the munchies. Yeah, runchies. I do Fire Marshal Bill, MacGyver, a character I took, Ghost Rider and Tron, it's called Grid Rider. Do Dr. Detroit. I'm known as the man of 1,000 faces.
You are, because every time I see you, it takes me a second to recognize you. And it was weird to hear Shaggy's voice come out of at Norton.
At Norton, yeah. I was Burt from Mary Poppins earlier. I forgot that one. That was a wicked big hit. But I'm R.W. Martin, and I've been acting since '86 and been cosplaying since 2014. And I love the reactions I get from people and the different characters that I do.
I'm now honored to be talking with Corbin Bernsen, and I'm a huge fan of Psych, first off, but thank you so much for being here at the Super Megafest.
I'm having a blast. It's always fun.
Now, what was some of your favorite episodes to shoot of Psych?
Well, I always, people ask that. It's hard when you do 130 episodes or something to recall ones. Pilot was always a good one. Yeah, it's where we established a relationship with Sean and his dad. So that always stands out. I like the one where I get shot and, Sean is worried about me. Ones that had really good connections with the father-son relationship. There are many more throughout, but, a lot of those I wasn't involved in some of the better episodes, if you will. Deeply involved. I like the ones that involved our relationship.
Well, yeah, the heart of the show was essentially you and James and the relationship you formed. Did that form right away when you started working together?
Yeah, it was one of those things. That's where, good casting creates chemistry. And it's not like, we had to try to do something. There's just, it's in the writing and it's in the casting. And it's the actors having a respect for one another. When it's a male-female one, it's probably some sort of real attraction that, but chemistry.
Did you have a favorite guest star? Because you had so many memorable guest stars on the show.
I really enjoyed working with Tim Curry because I was a big Rocky Horror fan. Oh gosh, there were just so many people that came through. But Tim, I remember Tim sticking out because we had a lot of fun. And Malcolm McDowell, who's an old buddy of mine, it was fun, although we didn't have a lot to do. Tim and I had stuff to do, so.
What fond memories do you have of the Major League movies? Because, of course, they're cult classics. Everybody loves them.
Watching Charlie Sheen at the end of a day pull 20 women into his room and just be in awe.
Now,
and still somehow show up for work the next day and be able to throw an 86-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm now here with Mink, and how are you enjoying Super Megafest?
It's really fun. I'm so happy to see all the things that are to purchasable, a lot of old school stuff, and some pretty awesome celebrities are here too.
Now, who are you dressed up as today?
I'm dressed up as a dragon from a 1990s video game for the Super Nintendo called Secret of Mana.
Why did you decide on that character?
It was kind of my favorite game when I was a kid, and I played an uncomfortable amount of that video game. So if I was going to spend the time and effort to really put together a costume, I figure I should put something together from something I really love.
Of course, and you made it yourself.
Yes.
What is it made out of?
A lot of fake fur, some fleece. My wings are made out of stiffened felt. And I've got silk all over my parts of me that aren't covered in fur.
and the wings move?
They don't really move. I can flex my back muscles to make them flap a bit, or my butt muscles to make them move a bit.
That works for me. But your ears move.
Yes, those ones do move. They're controlled by Neko Mimi ear sets. Usually people wear them on the outside of their hair or wig, but I got a big enough wig that I could hide them underneath, and it's all controlled by my brain. I don't know if you can see the contact point over there.
Wow. That's amazing. So every couple minutes they move.
So it moves with my alertness. So it's not just some random thing. It's literally syncing up with what my inner attention is doing. So I'm really inattentive.
I'm now with Lee Meriwether. How are you enjoying being at the Super Megafest?
I'm having a wonderful time. I really am. People are so nice. They all want to come up and and look at the pictures and ask me about the different, like the Batman movie and what was it like working with Adam West and Burt Ward. And it's fun. It's nice.
And how did you get the role of Catwoman? Because of course Julie Newmar played her on the series.
I had to. Well, Julie couldn't do the movie because she was already signed to do another movie, and I read for the part with about 100 other women, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to get this. It's not going to happen. And I was lucky enough. I guess I did enough to convince them that I could. I mean, I did a lot of things like purring while I was talking and licking my paw and all that. I lived with cats all my life, so it was a pretty easy thing to mimic a cat movement. So I was very lucky. It was wonderful. I loved doing the film. It was very easy, and to work with Burgess Meredith, Cesar Romero, and Frank Gorshin, plus Burt Ward and Adam West. Hey, not too bad.
Was there any talks of you coming onto the series in season 3 of Batman?
They asked me to come back not as Catwoman, but as another character. And I played a wonderful character. They wrote they came, because I couldn't do the Catwoman on the series. That was when they hired Eartha Kitt, because I was already signed to do Time Tunnel. So that curtailed my involvement. But there was a time frame where of filming on the Time Tunnel to an episode of the Batman series. And so I did do one episode, and I played a very spoiled daughter of the mayor of Gotham. But I was a date with Bruce Wayne, and we went to a costume party. And I was dressed as Cleopatra. He was dressed as I think as Mark Anthony. And of course, King Tut, Victor Buono, saw me and had to capture me and kidnap me. So it was really a fun episode. And to meet Victor Buono was really quite a thrill. I really loved it. And I got a kiss from Adam West.
Now, how do you feel about the new versions of Catwoman, played by like Anne Hathaway?
Oh, Anne Hathaway did a lovely job. I loved her performance. Actually, I've loved all the gals. I have a picture of all of them. I put these all together because I thought, what a good idea to get everybody in this. And so I have Julie and I can't see.
That's Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and Eartha, and I think that's Halle. Halle Berry, we let into the club.
Okay.
She didn't have to fight off Batman and Robin, but we let her in anyway. That was me, and then this was Anne Hathaway. It's been fun putting these together, and it was fun being Catwoman. I really did enjoy it.
This is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. You were in an episode of Star Trek. How was filming that episode?
Wonderful. I really enjoyed doing it. I sign all my pictures, I am for you, and your name,
Yeah.
and then you're dead. But it was fun to be a kind of someone who had been dead for quite some time, but was used as a method of destruction if anyone landed on the planet. So, computerized.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me and just embracing and loving Catwoman and all the other roles you've done.
Thank you. I love being in the business. I love theater. I'm doing a lot of theater lately, and I love independent films. That's where I found a whole new world. It's such a joy to be able to help young cinematographers, young playwrights, young screenwriters, young directors get a start, and I've done some fabulous roles. I mean, I've been given wonderful roles. Hopefully I've done them, that I've done a good job for them, but everyone seems pleased so far. So
now I'm with Eric, and what group are you part of today?
We're representing the 501st and Rebel Legions. We're Lucasfilm's preferred Imperial and heroic costuming organizations.
Fantastic. Now let's step away. Come over here, Eric. And what did you bring today to the Super Mega Fest?
This is the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. It's all constructed by members of the 501st and Rebel Legion. We're doing photos in it today, taking donations for Dana-Farber.
Do you mind if we walk into it?
Let's go right
Okay, let's go. So we're going to walk into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
Watch your
I can't
head.
believe it. Wow, I got to watch my head. Yes. Jeez, this is amazing. And how long did it take you to put together?
Well, fortunately, the members who did this over the span of a summer did so in memory of a member of ours who recently passed. That's why we're doing the Dana-Farber donation today. And this is all the labors of their donations and their love. The switches work, the buttons flip, the knobs pull, and everything lights up.
What does Star Wars mean to you?
I've loved Star Wars since I was a little kid, and it's always just been a great escape to be able to get to that galaxy far, far away.
And then you have other people dressed in costume.
Absolutely. We have over 10,000 members worldwide for the 501st Legion and over 8,000 for the Rebel Legion, and we've just got a small sample of them here today at Super Megafest.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for the interview. We're going to go, what is it, light speed ahead?
Full throttle.
Full throttle. Let's do this thing. I'm now with Butch Patrick from the Munsters. How are you enjoying being at the Super Mega Fest?
So far, so good. Looks like a great show.
Of course, you've been asked this a lot, but how was it working with the rest of the cast on the Munsters? Because you were just a kid.
You know, it was the worst experience of my life. They were horrible people, horrible. Now, if you believe that, I got some swampland for you. It was a great experience, it really was. They were nice folks, very talented. We had a lot of fun. The special effects, the cars, the guest stars we had, the wonderful guest stars we had. It was just every week was a really good adventure for an 11 and 12-year-old kid.
And what was one of your favorite guest stars?
You know, I enjoyed Paul Lynde as Dr. Dudley, was one of my favorites. But Louis Nye, when he played Zombo, that was one of my funniest episodes ever. And I think one of the other guest stars that I enjoyed was, believe it or not, Peter Robbins, who was the voice of Charlie Brown, came and did an episode, and I was enamored by him because I was a Charlie Brown fan.
How long did it take to do those effects?
Well, it took about hours and hours and hours to fabricate them and only seconds to do them.
Okay.
But the makeup was more, more time for us. An hour a day for me, 2 hours for Fred, and everybody else at various stages.
I love the opening of the Munsters when you walk through the doorway. Do you still remember filming that?
Well, you know, it's pretty clear. I was 11 and 12, and I have fond memories of it. The bat was very heavy. I remember that. It was like I was struggling to do it. I thought it would be balsa wood, but it was actually pine. And you know, when you said it, guest stars, I forgot the Standells. When the Standells came and did Far Out Munster, I thought that was so cool that we had a rock band on the Munsters.
Because the Munsters are still popular to this day. Yeah. What do you think the legacy of the Munsters are?
Family values. Wholesome family values wrapped up in a lovable monster family. How could you go wrong?
Now, I got to ask you about this. You guest starring on The Simpsons. That must have been a thrill. And you're wearing the Simpsons jacket.
Yeah, when I was watching The Simpsons in about season 8, I said, boy, I really would like to be a guest star in that show before it goes off the air, thinking it was probably going to run 10 years. Season 11, they asked me to be on the show, and what are we, in the 26th season now? I can't wait for the wrap party. And you can't buy these jackets. They give these to you when you do a show. So I was really looking forward to meeting and rubbing elbows with all the guest voices at some day in my life.
What are you currently working on?
Well, I purchased a Munster Coach and Dragula tribute cars last year. I recently purchased a house that I used to live in as a kid in Missouri. It's a haunted mansion. So I've got a paranormal destination. I tour the country with the Munster cars and props. And I'm working on a reality show that's kind of like Andy of Mayberry meets Eddie Munster in the Twilight Zone.
I'm now with Casper Van Dien, and how are you enjoying being at the Super Mega Fest?
I'm enjoying it.
Well, a couple of years ago, you were in a couple episodes of Monk, which I really enjoyed. How was it being on that show?
I loved being on Monk. It was a lot of fun. I got to do the series finale, too, so I got to do an episode the season before, and then the series finale, the last 2 episodes.
Awesome. Now, in Starship Troopers, how was it working with Clancy Brown and Michael Ironside?
They're both 2 incredible... Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I got to cut this interview short.
Yeah, Wow.
You gotta turn this around for a second.
Turn around. Check this out. Wow, they're here for you.
Oh, outstanding troopers! All right.
Who's Roughnecks?
Rico's Roughnecks! Oh, welcome to the Roughnecks! Outstanding! Look at this! Holy shit, man. This is the best day ever! Look at this! The Tigers! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have one rule! Everybody fights! Nobody quits! If you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself! There we go. This is on the ground.
So what was that reaction like to see all the people dressed like Starship Troopers?
I think it's really awesome when you see people that get that excited and want to put the time and effort to make something like that. They made them all from scratch, and it's pretty incredible. I love it.
And they even came to the Q&A as well.
Yeah, they did. They came Q&A, and they're all dressed up in different parts and different uniforms. They were wonderful.
Awesome.
So sweet people. I really appreciate it. It's very flattering, and it's humbling, and it's exciting.
I'm now with Dr. Doom. What brings you to Super Megafest?
Super Megafest, I am here, taking over all which you seek precious. There is no security. You have no defense. Your will is my command, for I am Doom.
You traveled all this way from Latveria.
Yes.
Have you caught the Fantastic Four yet?
The Fantastic what? I've crushed them all. They stand no chance against me. Doom! Put the camera on me, not on him.
He's very, very egotistical.
Yes. Look at this face. You should be so lucky to have the face of Doom on you.
Now I'm with Mickie James from WWE and TNA. How are you enjoying the Super Megafest?
It's awesome. So far, so good. I mean, we just got started. So I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. I saw Chewbacca as soon as I walked in the door. Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers are here this week. It must be so great to see them.
No, I'm excited. I didn't realize so many wrestlers are going to be here. I've been waiting for a break to go over and attack Mick Foley, but his line has not stopped since he's got here. So maybe eventually I'll go give him the claw. Socko. I don't have any socks though.
So recently in the WWE, this just happened at WrestleMania, that the Divas Championship became the Women's Championship. How do you feel about that?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, you know, Divas was like a whole era, I think, in itself, which was really cool, and it was just different. But for me, I was a fan of the Women's Championship. That was the championship I grew up, you know, wanting to win. I think the new look is different. It's cool. It's retro. It kind of embraces or embodies like what WWE is all about now. So it looks a lot like the men's championship, doesn't it?
Yes,
with just a little pink in there.
I really enjoyed your time watching WWE when you were on it.
Thank you.
You were fantastic. What was one of your favorite feuds?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Oh, it was so hard because I was really fortunate to have some really incredible women to work with, from Trish to Lita to Melina to Beth Phoenix. I mean, even Michelle McCool and Laylo on the end, on the outs there. I know everybody wasn't a huge fan of that storyline, but they were incredibly talented, and they did a great job being bad girls, mean girls, and I think I did an okay job being a nice girl.
So it's so hard to pick a favorite feud.
It really is. You know, obviously, I think that the most recognized feud is the one with Trish.
Right.
It really brought me in and kind of set the standard of where I was going to be within the rest of, you know, my tenure there. I personally, my chemistry with Beth Phoenix, we could just feel each other. You know what I mean? Like we were that. And I think because I worked with her so much in OVW and then coming up to WWE, it was just like we had great chemistry together. Melina and I had great chemistry together because she's a bit like a wildfire-y kind of, you don't know what to expect with her. I think that because our body structures are very similar and our personalities in real life are kind of, they bounce off each other well. Like it was good because people thought that we really hated each other, and we only hated each other half the time.
Gotcha.
I'm just kidding. I love Melina. We have this like ongoing joke. Like everybody thinks that we really hate each other in real life.
What inspires you to become a wrestler?
I grew up a fan of wrestling. I watched it with my dad. It was like our kind of bonding thing. So, you know, I idolized the Sherry Martells and the Randy Savages and the Ric Flairs and, you know, even while I was in high school, the Stone Cold Steve Austins and the Rocks, you know, in that whole Attitude Era where I fell back in love with wrestling all over again. And it was kind of out of that I was like, I want to give this a whirl. I want to try. This is awesome, and I think I'd be really great at this, and I love it. Like, I genuinely love it.
And you really are great at it.
Thank you.
And finally, wrap up, any news with the country music singing?
Well, I'm working on my third album now. Obviously, I work with Heart Songs for Veterans. We do a radio show called Project Lips, which is free, and it's all devoted to our veterans and wounded warriors in combat. And I have some concerts in the mix, and we're going back in the studio soon. I've been writing, and yeah, I'm excited. So hopefully later this year, I started writing a book. And not a children's book or anything like that, but maybe in the future.
Autobiography?
Yeah, it's going to be called Where's Your Socks? I'm just kidding. No.
That's a good callback.
Yeah.
Good callback.
I am. It's an autobiography, so I just started, so
nice.
We'll see. You know, that might take a while.
Well, I want you in the WWE Hall of Fame.
You do?
I do.
Thank you.
Hopefully someday.
Tell Vince. Or Hunter.
Okay.
Or Stephanie. Or Shane. Anybody but me.
Now I'm with a whole group of cosplayers, and you're very different selections. We got Daphne from Scooby-Doo, we have the Little Mermaid. First off, just tell me all your first names.
Cassie. I'm Jamie. Meredith. I'm Anissa. Jessica.
And how are you guys enjoying the Super Mega Fest?
It's so much fun. This is actually my first time doing the Spring Mega Fest, so it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Very good. And the rest of you, good time?
Yes, it's my first time at all at Super Mega Fest.
Now, how do you arrange your costumes? You guys all just pick different characters?
Yeah, this one was actually kind of informal. We just all have our favorite characters, and we decided to cosplay together.
And who's your character?
It's known from Sword Art Online 2.
It's a video game?
It's an anime.
It's an anime. Well, Daphne knows something about anime.
I do. I've solved a lot of mysteries. I know Disney, I know anime, I know comics. Girl, I go around.
Fantastic. And you're, of course, Little Mermaid. And who are you two?
I'm Elsa from Frozen.
Okay, and
I'm Cinderella.
Oh, good selection. I think that's great. Well, thank you so much for talking to me and being here at the Super Mega Fest. I'm now with the legendary Eric Bischoff. How are you enjoying the Super Mega Fest?
I'm having a ball. You know, it's always fun to come to an event like this, and you see people having so much fun. See them with their families. You know, their parents bring their kids, and they all get dressed up, and they just have so much fun. So it's a real pleasure to be here.
Now, how did you get into the pro wrestling business?
It's a long story, but it's really, I was in the right place at the right time. It's really coincidence more than design. But I had always been a fan of professional wrestling growing up, and was just fortunate enough to have the opportunity one day out of the blue to get an opportunity to work in the industry.
Now, Sting was the face of WCW. You must feel great that he got inducted into WWE Hall of Fame recently.
Well, it makes me feel good for him.
Yeah.
You know, Steve Borden, Sting, the character, is a wonderful human being, a great guy, and worked hard and sacrificed a lot. Just knowing him, it made me feel good for him.
Now, how do you think the industry has changed now, the pro wrestling industry and the WWE Network?
Well, I mean, I love the WWE Network. I have it. I probably watch more wrestling on the network than I do on television, to be honest, because it's so easy. I have a pretty busy schedule. I don't really sit down and watch television the way I used to, but I do like to catch up and keep up with things that are going on. So I love the network. As far as how the business has changed, you know, like everything has changed, you know. the cameras they're using to shoot this interview have changed. You know, the way people consume their entertainment has changed dramatically. So wrestling has changed along with it, but it's always been there, and I'm sure it'll always be there.
And what are you currently up to?
Well, I have my own production company with my partner Jason Hervey. We've been doing that since 2003. We've got 2 shows for cable outlets in production right now. We probably have another half a dozen or more in one stage or development or the other. So still producing TV.
I'm now with Mark Dodson, and how are you enjoying the Super Mega Fest?
I'm enjoying it very much. It's been a great show. Very nice people. Great show. What can you say? Couldn't be better.
Most people don't recognize your face, but they might recognize some of the voices.
They would, hopefully they recognize Salacious Crumb from Return of the Jedi, and the yams and all from the Gremlins, and Daffy from Gremlins 2. Yeah, that's what I'm most known for.
How did you get associated with Gremlins, and how did you get the part?
Well, Gremlins came because of Salacious Crumb, because of which, for those who don't know, Salacious Crumb's the little guy that sits with Jabba the Hutt in the throne room in Return of the Jedi and cackles. And the Gremlins came because Chris Wallace and Tony McVeigh made Salacious Crumb, and then they went to work with Spielberg and Joe Dante and Mike Fennell and a bunch of people on Gremlins. It was brought up in a meeting that, hey, we think that the Gremlins look a lot like Salacious, and they said, we think the Gremlins should have that same kind of sound. Who did the voice? And next thing I knew, unbelievably, I was working on the movie Gremlins.
But Salacious Crumb, he's kind of like a cult character in Star Wars. Like, everybody seems to love him.
People ended up loving him. He didn't have a whole lot of screen time, but people really liked him. Which I'm very thankful for. You know, thanks everybody.
They filmed the entire Return of the Jedi, and then you came in to do the voice after the fact.
Right, that's how the voice stuff is the end of the process. You know, it starts pre-production, where they're writing and casting and all, and then production is the shooting, the actual, and then post-production is the sound. And that's all done at the very end. And in fact, I think I did the voice of Salacious literally about a month before the movie opened. And I just worked on, well, last October on Force Awakens, and we did that. The session was, I'll never forget, October 23rd, and the movie opened just, a couple months later.
So who are you in Force Awakens?
I am a character called Cretinus. When they first go into Maz Kanata's castle, there's 2 aliens, Cretinus and Prashi. They're brothers. They look alike. They're swindlers, is the backstory. They use the fact that they look alike to trick people and swindle them. And Cretinus wins they love games of chance. They're playing a board game. And you'll see him win, and then all of a sudden he'll go, ah! And that's me. And then a lot of background, a lot of what we call walla, actually, which is the background things that you hear with the stormtroopers yelling and the people, villagers in some of the scenes, the Star Killer base, I'm, yelling things like, shields up, as we're being attacked. So a lot of that.
Where else can people hear your voices on?
They can hear me doing narrations for History Channel, The Legend of the Superstition Mountains, with over $200 million worth of gold in those hills. I narrate for Outdoor Channel, just finished a series called Fleckstone's Turkey Man. And so I'm the voice of Remington Rifles and Ammunition. I've been doing that for years. Wild Turkey Whiskey, those types of products, a lot of that. Video games, I just did some stuff for Star Trek Online. I hope that's okay with my Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
So when people say who would win, Star Wars or Star Trek, I say, well, I think it'd be a tie.
I'm now here with Deadpool. What brings you to the Super Mega Fest?
To see everybody, have fun with everybody, and meeting fans. Came down here from Jersey right now, so having some fun right now.
Awesome. And you have a lot of weapons on you, but nothing, no real weapons, right?
Not here. There's too many kids around for that.
But how did you enjoy the Deadpool movie?
I absolutely loved it. Saw it opening day, then went back the next day and saw it in IMAX, and very loved it. I've been doing this for 4 years, though, as Deadpool, so I've been doing this for a while before the movie was even coming out.
Why do you like Deadpool so much?
Just because of his character, how much he is able to mess with everybody and get away with it, and he's just an assassin. I love assassins.
I'm now with Steve Cardenas from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Where is he at? Where?
That's you.
Oh, that's me. Okay, all right, okay.
Are you required to always wear blue and red all the time?
No, although people get mad when I don't wear blue, but I kind of like to wear black and gray more.
Now, there's a new Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie in the works. How do you feel about that?
I'd feel a lot better if I was in it. But no, I think it's great, actually, you know. It's great that they're keeping it alive. I love that they're going back to an origin story, which is cool. I love that it's going to be a saga, probably, you know. And, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it, actually. And plus, for me, it's good because I can keep coming out and you know, they're keeping it alive, so I'm going to always be working with cons and stuff like that.
But you worked on the original movie.
I did the original movie. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
And I enjoyed that film. I saw that in theaters. How was Ivan Ooze?
Ivan Ooze is great. It was played by Paul Freeman, who was, you know, Belloc in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was awesome, yeah. He was really good. He was real generous, too, you know, because we were not really real actors, you know, and he was a real actor, you know. So, yeah, he was great. It was fun. To this day, you know, still friends with everybody.
How comfortable is it to put on the Power Ranger suit? Are they comfortable suits?
Well, yeah, they're made of spandex. They stretch. It's like pajamas, you know. They're great. They don't breathe very well, but it's really hot. But the movie suit was not like that at all. The movie suit was made out of rubber. It was like an armor kind of suit, like a Batman suit kind of, and that was not comfortable at all. It was very heavy and very hard to move around in, and yeah, so it was a big difference.
And what I remember from the Power Rangers movies was all the merchandise. They had McDonald's toys and Burger King toys and things like that. How cool is that to see in fast food places with your face on it?
Well, it was pretty cool back then, but what's more interesting now is that people come up and bring those toys to me. They're still in the package and everything. I'm like, how did you manage that? You know, so.
And what are you currently working on?
Well, currently right now I'm touring. I'm just doing Comic-Cons. I'm doing that pretty much every weekend, and then during the week I teach martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, that was the Spring 2016 New England Super Mega Fest Comic-Con. And as you can tell, it's a great event. So please come next year. You're going to have a lot of fun. I want to thank all the special guests that I interviewed during this program. My name is David Ciccariella. Thanks for watching.